What was that? Missouri embarrassed, destroyed, routed. I don't know, Hunter, if I have any other adjectives about that game. Probably the most just I'm at a loss for words by how disgusting of a basketball game I just watched. I watched the Florida Kentucky game earlier today, and this was a different sport than what we just watched there. Welcome into the STL Sports Central Mizzou basketball post game show. Hunter, thoughts on that disgusting performance by the Missouri Tigers?
I was
Oh, as
I'm
you are
hold
green.
on, I'm still here. My camera just decided to turn off.
There we go.
I don't have really any words. That was I mean the first half you saw some fight between the two teams and they came out flat in the second half and just from then on it felt like Texas had control of that game. Anytime that something would happen in Mizzou's favor, Texas would answer with a 6-0, an 8-0 run, something that would even little tiny breaks of it, but would just vault the momentum back in. Anytime that Mizzou Arena got loud, it felt like, oh, here's another 3-pointer by Swain. Here's another bang around rebound and put back by Vokatitis. It
Yeah.
just felt that no matter what Mizzou did in that second half, that they were just in a different universe from Texas's physicality and Texas's momentum. And I also think that it stems from shooting less than 70% at the free throw stripe. I mean, you have to hit your free throws. I say it every year. I say it at my TV all the time when I'm watching basketball games. Uh, Hit your free throws. They're free.
Yeah.
And the Tigers shot 68.4% tonight from the free throw stripe. And it felt as though anytime they shot a bunch of free throws, by the way, like they missed probably, I forget what the final tally is as I search for it here, but they missed 12 free throws tonight. And this game was decided by 17 points. And even if you do make those 12 free throws, you still lose, but you put yourself in a better spot to maybe instead of you're chucking up prayers there at the end of the game, you're running just an offense and trying to compete. So
Yeah, a good point here from Rockstar Journey 100. I said this the other day when Mizzou beat A&M. This was a good win. That was a good win, but it's not enough. They had to win this game tonight to get off the bubble. This is a bad loss. This team is just not consistent. Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. The team, you had to consolidate these games because at the end of the day, if you told us on Wednesday before the A&M game, hey, Mizzou goes 1-1, you'd go, okay, so they lose to A&M, they beat Texas, we're still on the bubble. This doesn't really offset much. Yes, the A&M game on paper is a better win than beating Texas. It basically offsets the South Carolina win. I mean, going 1-1 in these two games, Texas and South Carolina, it does nothing for you, really. You needed to go beat both of these teams, and you're right back on the bubble. You are right back in last four in, first four out, next four out. Like, it was, I think, the worst loss in the Dennis Gates era. And that's saying something because you lost to Jackson State. You went 0-18 in the SEC. But I think it's like they didn't coach for the 2 days or the 3 days since they beat A&M on Wednesday. Like, there was no an incredible coaching performance. I think the best under Dennis Gates versus A&M to the worst easily under Dennis Gates against Texas. Just a horror show from top to bottom. Rebounding was awful. Defense was pull your hair out, infuriating, and somehow the offense was even worse. Like, it was from start to finish just awful, especially in that second half. I mean, just a absolutely throw up in your mouth performance from Missouri. I mean, I don't know what else there really is to say about it.
yeah, and you only had three guys in double figures too. You
Yeah.
had Stone Mitchell with both had 16 and Ant Robinson had 11. Outside of that, the scoring was just not there. You expect more from T.O. Barrett. You expect more from Trent Pierce. You expect more. You expect Jacob Cruz to come into games and light things up. And that's just not the case for the Tigers this year. They just have not come in with the fire. Like they have games where they come in and everything's clicking on the right foot, and Mark Mitchell's shooting lights out from the mid range, and Ant Robinson looks fantastic from deep. And then all of a sudden, you turn around and they go through cold spells, and
Yeah.
that is where it kills the Tigers because they just fall behind and they don't have any way of catching up because the guys that you need to get hot are ice cold and they're just chucking up prayers and they're not falling down, and it is a mess. And they have too many tonight. There were too many possessions that felt that, and they said it a lot on the broadcast, ping ponging the ball around, just
Yeah.
rebounds there, tipped up, kicking the ball around, and it felt as though there were too many possessions like that for the Tigers tonight that they couldn't really set up. And like I said, if this is a 7-point game in the final 2 minutes, then maybe running they're running their designed plays versus let's run up the court and chuck up a three as fast as possible so that we can try and get a stop on defense and get the ball back. And
And that's a good segue into our money moment of the game, brought to you by Home Bank, the team behind our team here at STL Sports Central. They also bring you the STL Sports Central post game show. But for my money moment of the game, it's pretty simple. Like you said, the stretches Mizzou couldn't score. I believe it was over 7 minutes from the 14-minute mark to the 7-minute mark in the second half that Missouri did not score a field goal. And I think without a doubt, that is my money moment of the game. That stretch just absolutely killed you and lost you this basketball game.
yeah, I would completely agree. It's hard to pick a money moment when you lose.
Yeah.
I try to be positive on my money moments, and so I'm going to stick with that. I'm gonna go with Stone's dunk where
Okay.
he right in front of the student section. I thought
Yeah.
that got the crowd going, and at that point in the game, you kind of feel like, okay, there's a chance that we can move forward and keep
Mhm.
rolling and get on a run here to just kind of jump out in front. And they just never did.
No, they never did. And let's talk about a couple performances. I thought Anthony Robinson, if you're looking for a positive, he was a little bit better today. His shot was a little bit more consistent. He made two 3-pointers, went 3 for 6 from the field, two threes, made 3 free throws, had 11 points. So if you're trying to find a positive in what is just an ugly game all around, I think that is one because there's no help off the bench. You ended up running Nicholas Randall. You gave 10 minutes because Sean Phillips was in foul trouble. Trent Burns played 2 minutes, but you really ran a 7-man rotation. And Anthony Robinson looked playable today.
Yeah, Robinson, it kind of felt like Robinson and Randall were the only two guys that were coming off the bench, and like you said, Randall's was simply because Sean Phillips uh, kept having, and it's something that stuck with me this year, which is just it feels like it's stupid fouls,
He's
stupid
soft.
fouls
He's
early,
so soft too. I
like
mean,
like
the
it all day
sorry.
long. Yeah, all day long he's banging around with Volkatitis, and there's fouls here and there, and he ends up throwing an elbow. They're hand fighting, they're fighting for body position, and he throws an elbow, and then all of a sudden there's a foul, and then he's arguing with the ref, and it feels frustrating to sit there and watch because you need your big man to be able to battle in that situation and not get a dead ball contact off ball foul. Be called.
So I had to call. It was me and Chris Pelican. I had to call Sean Phillips out after the Georgia game, and he ended up playing marginally better the last few games. He comes off his best game of the year against A&M and shows up and just lays an absolute egg today. What I'll call a soft performance, and maybe I shouldn't be calling a 7-foot guy that would tear me to shreds soft, but he was soft tonight. 5 points, 2 rebounds. You are the starting center on this team and you get me 2 rebounds the entire night. I mean, it's inexcusable. The amount of rebound opportunities he had that he was trying to like catch, like it was, I don't even know, like a offensive lineman catching a football. Put your hands in the air, box out. Like there's just no, he elbows guys. He's getting up in people's faces. He is all talk, everything outside of basketball. He's what you want your big man to be. Stick up for your guys. But then when in between the lines, he is so soft. He backs down. I mean, he was getting dominated inside today. He was awful. I would have been better with Nicholas Randall for 30 minutes because Sean Phillips, I think it's his worst game as a Missouri Tiger, which is hard to do because he's had some stinkers so far this season. And this, I think, takes the cake.
Yeah, he's had a lot of. I mean, he's only eclipsed. It's not like you're asking him to score, but you would hope that
No,
he
I
would.
don't care about
It's
the
7 feet.
side.
It's 7 feet. You wish that those tip back rebounds. You wish that he would be able to put back and maybe put some points on the board. But there are so many games. Like he has two. I see two games where he's eclipsed double-digit rebounds. The first game of the year against Howard, and the fourth game of the year against Prairieville A&M. Prairie View A&M. You cannot be an SEC center and be 7 feet tall and not rebound. That is the definition of your job as a center in this conference.
Yeah. That is your job in this conference, is to rebound and play good defense. And we saw the complete opposite of that from him today. And it was just, I mean, no good tonight. This whole riding high from Texas A&M got brought back to reality 100%. Again, if we're going to zoom out from this game a little bit, you needed to go 1-1 this week to continue to give yourself a chance, and that's what you did. 2-0, and you have a foot in the door of the NCAA tournament. You're 8-4 in the SEC. You're top 4 in the SEC. All this, like, you are solidly in, maybe on the 10 line in the NCAA tournament. And now you have a make or break week, really, because Missouri cannot afford to go 0-2 this week against Vanderbilt and at Arkansas. And if they lose that home game against Vandy, there's a very good chance they go 0-2 and kind of ruin any chance they have of getting in the NCAA tournament. So that's why this game really feels like a turning point in the season if you can't capitalize against Vandy.
If you can't get back on your feet and get back to work and on Wednesday night go back and defend your home turf at Mizzou Arena, then absolutely. I mean, you looked at it, you've said it a lot. This has been a very pivotal game. This is two bubble teams going at it from the SEC. It's a I believe that the Longhorns in Lunardi from ESPN was, I think they were the last team to avoid the first four. And then Mizzou was the last team in as of tonight going into this game. So if you win this game, you might find yourself out of the first four games. But obviously you lay an egg and now you're sitting back, you're back probably in, like you said, the first four out, next four out, and you've got some work ahead of you. And it doesn't necessarily get easy. Like you said, you get Vandy, you get Arkansas in Arkansas, then you play Tennessee at home. Then you have to go down to Starkville and play Mississippi State. Then you play Oklahoma and Norman, which obviously Oklahoma and Mississippi State have not been fantastic. So maybe those are some opportunities there. Then you get to finish up the year against Arkansas at home. And then you have to go, then you go to Tennessee, Nashville, and you play in this SEC tournament. And the biggest key there is it doesn't matter what you do. If you get yourself in the bubble range and get yourself, okay, maybe they're in. The caveat is that you can't go one and done in the SEC tournament if you're Mizzou, even no matter what happens the rest of the way. If you can win one game in the SEC tournament or two games in the SEC tournament, depending on how things shake out, you might be able to sneak in.
This could be the last time they are favored the rest of the year. So on paper, this was their easiest game the rest of the season, and they did this tonight. Just hugely disappointing, Hunter. Rest of the season, do you see them bouncing back against Vandy?
I would like to think so. That this team goes through cycles. I mean, you had you're on a 3-game win streak. You're on a 3-game win streak. Okay, then you lose to Texas. But before that, you drop 2 to LSU and Georgia. Georgia's a pretty good team, so and it's a 2-point loss at home to Georgia. then you beat Oklahoma, but then you go back and you get annihilated by Alabama. So they've gone back and forth all season long. But then you go back to the first game of the conference schedule and they beat Florida. And it's like, okay, what is this team? Is this team good enough on paper? Is this team good enough when they play to their abilities? Or is this team just going to run into this cycle and they're eventually going to fall into this spot where even if they do sneak in, are they a first round exit again? Like they were last year?
No, I don't. That's getting way too far ahead of ourselves. I would love to see them be a first round exit because that means you won some exciting games here down the stretch and got in the NCAA tournament. And Samuel Howell makes a good point here. I didn't see him bouncing back from Illinois, and I think that this game they can bounce back from. It's just the severity of the schedule where it's really disappointing because 8-4, the amount of breathing room you have there. You go 2-4 down the stretch, you're probably in the tournament. You go 3-3, and you're definitely in the NCAA tournament at 11-7. And now all of a sudden you look at this inflection point where you're 7-5, having to go at least 3-3, and that is not going to be easy with the schedule that you have. I just there seemed to be no rhyme or reason to what Missouri was doing today, and I think that is the most frustrating part. If it was a night that Mizzou just couldn't hit their shots, I'd go, okay, you know what? Like nights like this happen. They shot 42% from the field. That's not great, but Texas shot 48%. Like it wasn't a wide disparity in the field goal percentage, but Teal Barrett wasn't himself. He missed 7 shots. They only made 4 3-point shots. So it's just those little things. And on top of it, the lobs worked awesome against A&M because you outsized them. Texas has size. The lobs weren't working against Texas because Mark Mitchell or Sean Phillips, and this isn't like I've gone after him. This is not a dig at him. It's just he's not really great at catching lobs. It worked because there was no one pressuring him against A&M. It's just not quite in his skill set to catch these alley-oops. And for some reason, Missouri continued to throw them with not a lot of success tonight.
Yeah, there was a lot of times where the ball just either it went over his head or and it was a bad pass or he had a hand in his face as he was going up and just was unable. He didn't have the body, but he didn't out mass Volkatitis in the paint to get to the body position to get up and get the lob and get it into the basket. There was just a lot of things that were not clicking from the Missouri offense. And when the Missouri offense clicks, it tends to be okay. We can put the clamps down on defense, and we're going to be all right. But the offense was not clicking tonight, and so they found themselves running up and down the floor and being over aggressive, which led to both teams being in the double bonus at the 10-minute mark of the second half. I know we were sitting here kind of like, okay, is this thing ever going to end? Because we're just going to continue going to the line.
They got delayed. Wish they would have gotten delayed a little more. We ref show tonight in Columbia. I don't know how both coaches weren't just infuriated with what they were watching because the amount of calls, it was disgusting. The refereeing was maybe the worst I've ever seen. Just you got to call it let a little more slide.
Yeah, they were very ticky-tack.
Tend to do, and I'm not even complaining from a Mizzou side. I thought it was awful both ways. Just horrendous officiating tonight in Columbia.
Yeah, I think it was. I mean, it was ticky-tack from the get-go, and I mean, I don't know if it was because that Sean Phillips elbow started all of the whistles early in the game. It happened very early in the game. And I don't know if at that point the referees were just like, all right, we're going to call everything tonight. But it felt like every 2 possessions, there was a whistle, and it was egregious to the point where like, okay, they went up for a board. Somebody's arm got hit while they went up for the rebound. And so we're going to call that a foul. It's like, okay, that's kind of a weak foul, right? Like now we're going to shoot 2 free throws because of that.
Yeah. A lot of weak fouls. Some quotes coming in from the presser from Power Mizzou. Our guys were foul prone tonight. This is from Dennis Gates. Our guys were foul prone tonight, away from the basket for some reason. Well, yeah, there was a lot of fouls away from the basket on the Missouri Tigers. All right, Hunter, as we wind this down, I need to hear your record prediction for Missouri in their final 6 games. They're at home against Vandy, at Arkansas, home against Tennessee, at Miss State, at Oklahoma, home against Arkansas. 3 home games, 3 road games. What is Missouri's record?
I think that I think they can beat Vanderbilt on Wednesday night. I think they bounce back on Wednesday night.
Okay.
I think they drop the game to Arkansas in Fayetteville.
Okay.
I think they're going to drop the game to Tennessee, and then they're going to win one, but not both of Mississippi State, Oklahoma on the road, and then they're going to beat Arkansas back at home to end the year, kind of vaulting them into some motion. And I think the crowd's going to get loud for them on that final homestand.
10-8, and they get into the NCAA tournament.
I think that's reasonable. I think that if you ask me on Wednesday night, and you could probably ask me at halftime, and I might give you a different answer based on how the first half is played.
Yeah. I don't disagree with you. I think 3-3 is my prediction as well. I do think that would leave them with just a little work to do in Nashville. I think that first game in Nashville would be a virtual NCAA tournament game, would have to win, and maybe that would be enough to get in. So any last thoughts, Hunter, on this very disappointing 85-68 loss for the Missouri Tigers?
I hope that Coach Gates is going to have the boys running some mountains tomorrow. Maybe not one for each foul. Maybe one for each 2 fouls. But
every 2 fouls.
Don't need them too gassed. But
yeah,
definitely get back to the drawing board this week. And I really hope that they can defend their own home turf against Vanderbilt, a team that coming into this game, it feels like, all right, we're at our place. We've only lost 2 games all year here. One of them was by 2 points. One of them we played horribly in. We have to bounce back for the fans. We have to bounce back for ourselves. We're playing for our tournament lives at this point. So really, really hoping for that.
Well, I think that is a good way to close it out. A little positive from Hunter as we wrap things up here. Missouri falls to the Texas Longhorns 85-68. We'll be back on Wednesday night, hopefully following a Missouri Tiger victory over the Vanderbilt Commodores. Thank you for tuning in. I hope everyone has a great rest of their night and a good Sunday tomorrow. This is the Missouri basketball post-game show on STL Sports Central, brought to you by Home Bank. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in.